base are belong to us.
You're listening to Gamers Digest, a podcast where your hosts put the controllers down just long enough to talk about gaming news, rumors, and anything else they can think of. Here are your hosts, Spider-One and Mr. Factastic.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Can you hear me?
Check 3 4. I forgot to test the mic before we started. I was watching. We did the cave. You know.
We did it live.
We did it live twice.
Yeah.
And the second time I forgot to plug the mic in.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, obviously the laptop has its own mic, so you can still hear us.
Okay.
But you can definitely tell the audio isn't quite as good.
Ah.
But oddly enough, you can actually hear Nikki better on the built-in mic, just because I guess the way that
it was pointed at her.
I guess the mic on the laptop is, a wider range, but it would have been closer to her the way we had it set up. So we are Gamers Digest. We do game news,
rumors.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I'm trying to think of like a new intro, but that one fits so well because it describes everything we do. We play video games, we talk about them, and hopefully you guys listen, or at least watch our pretty faces. Do you think anybody watches us with like the sound off?
No.
I hope.
I have like a filmmaking background. That is one of the best ways to learn when you're filmmaking and stuff like that, is to watch a movie with the sound turned down. So that's one way how I like study movies and like camera move. I mean you see a whole different movie when you watch without any of the sound.
I noticed that like in gaming, when I turn the subtitles on, I don't pay attention to what's going on. I just read the subtitles, regardless of if it's in English or not. So
that's true.
I've been making a point to like turn the subtitles off on everything. And luckily, most games now are like smart enough to realize that if they're speaking a different language, the subtitles still show up.
Yeah.
So, because I noticed that on Devil May Cry, like. Actually, that's what I played a lot this week. And when I started out, I was just reading the subtitles, and I was missing what was going on. And I went back and watched it. I was like, wow, there's a lot of cool stuff in these videos. So, I did a lot of Devil May Cry. I'm going to do a Let's Play for that. I got it all done. I'm going to review it probably next week, because this week we're going to chat about the cave.
Yeah, we're going to do a little cave chat.
But other than the cave, what else did you play?
I finished Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, so maybe sometime next week I'll start getting those Let's Plays out. That game is about almost twice as long as Tomb Raider Underworld. So, yeah, I mean, I enjoyed parts of the game. Like, it's a game I had played before on the PlayStation 3. I'm playing it. I played it again on the Xbox 360, and I really like it. I mean, most Spider-Man games are good.
Yeah.
And,
they're entertaining.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'd go as far as say they're good.
And so, like, Shattered Dimensions was like a different take on the typical Spider-Man game.
Right.
But you were able to play as 4 different Spider-Man from different universes. But I hated the 2099 stuff.
Yeah.
Like, if I could do the Let's Play for that game without showing the 2099 stuff, I would
now,
love it.
For the Let's Play, are you gonna like break it up by mission or?
Yeah, basically break it up by mission.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you, that's kind of how I'm gonna do Devil May Cry. Except for like, there's a couple missions that are only like one mission is literally a minute and 30 seconds long.
Ah.
Like a whole mission, basically it's it's like I almost want to say car chase scene, but you're trying to protect the people in the car. And that's basically it. Is like you gotta platform and move stuff out of the way for them, because like time kind of slows down at certain points. And like if you do it like without stopping or looking for anything or fighting any of the bad guys, it took me a minute and 30 seconds to do that whole mission. It honestly took it longer to load than it actually took the mission. But that was a pretty rare case. You also did Dead Space 3.
Yeah, I played the Dead Space 3 demo. Didn't finish it. I was doing co-op, and like Xbox Live kept crapping out on us. So we decided to go back later this week. So it was okay. It was okay.
I got a feeling this is what spurred the this co-op make games better discussion topic we'll talk about.
Yeah.
I kind of had a feeling about that. Yeah, I mean
that's pretty much it.
It's been a busy week.
Yeah, I really like the cave, but we'll get into that later.
Oh yeah, we got plenty of news to talk about. In fact, one is going to get a whole discussion story, so we'll save that for the end, because obviously that's going to be the big news story of the week.
Yeah.
The first one, we don't typically do like deal announcements, but this is a really good deal.
Mm-hmm.
So, Best Buy and Amazon are both doing 12-month Xbox Live cards for $35. That's almost half off.
Yeah.
So,
That's a really good deal.
So, like, what I was thinking was, I have the 2-year contract. Obviously, a little less than 2 years now because I've had my Xbox for a couple of months. And you know, I'm required to pay for Xbox Live. But if you buy any cards or something, that it kind of like subtracts your time. So, you know, like they prorate it into it and do the math and stuff.
Yeah.
So if I bought this card, like if I bought 2 of these cards, I'd basically nullify that contract because I have an Xbox for those, you know, 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna look into a little more of the legal stuff, but I might do that because in the end, that means I would have ended up getting my Xbox for, I think I did the math, like $160 or something.
Wow.
And that was like, you know, with Skyrim and stuff like that. So
that's a really good deal. I mean, these cards normally go for like $60. I mean, it's like you think like, do I buy a new game or do I get this card?
Right.
So I mean, that's the comparison right there for everybody. It's a good deal. So I mean, I'm thinking about it. What's until the end of the week?
Right.
So jump on it while you can. I had to bust.
Did you
my
see?
savings.
Did you see the PS4 specs were leaked this week?
I didn't see the exact specs, but I did see about it. Yeah.
Yeah, how we're like going back and forth on Facebook about it, like everybody's talking about it. And, hey, you know, they said like the hardware and stuff that's going into it is going to cost like $1,000 per console, which console makers typically like lose money on consoles and make it back on their games. So it's never going to cost $1,000. So people are like, you know, it's going to be another $600, $700 console, and I'm like, no, I think they're definitely, if they're pushing that high of a price point, they're going to go the contract route.
Yeah,
easily.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it's about time that we get an online system that works better, like Xbox Live. I mean, maybe that could be a part of the whole deal. Yeah, I definitely see them taking that route. It's logical.
Right. Now, they launched the PlayStation Web Store this week, which was funny, and since we're talking about PlayStation, I'm jumping down a bit, but they all the reviewers of it, and you know, all the big game sites talked about it, and they said now you can have the joy of actually buying PlayStation games without having to navigate the PlayStation Store on your console. So I might have to check this out because that's always been like, even after the redesign, it's still
hokey,
a cluster F.
Yeah.
I took the language warning down, which I'm gonna have to put back up for the Devil May Cry stuff.
Yeah, that game was dirty, foul.
There's a lot of other dirty stuff too. So.
Oh, nice.
In fact, I might have to make like its own intro, like, you know, 18 over, be warned. So.
This game is rated M for mature.
Yeah. Logitech is getting rid of all its console accessories. Not a huge loss. I think they'd do better just focusing on PC. There's enough of Mad Cats and Nyko.
Yeah.
Crap like
all that stuff.
Like,
Mad Cats.
Do you remember back in the day, like when third-party stuff was like, you know, it was still kind of cheaper, but it was still good.
Yeah, they were decent.
And now it's like all crap. Like almost.
Yeah, I don't
all
even look at them anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
When like you go in, you're like, I want a PlayStation controller, and they're like, well, we have the Mad Cats or the official. It's not even a thought. You're like, just give me the official. I'll pay the extra $20.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I don't even buy. I don't really get the third-party stuff anymore at all.
The first third-party thing I've probably bought this generation was that cable.
Oh,
the Malta cable, and a cable is a cable.
Yeah, cable's a cable. It's not like Monster Cable where you got to spend like $100 for the same thing.
And they don't do anything better.
They don't.
Yep. That's where they get you. The more expensive cables for video game systems, they don't do anything better. So.
Except drain your funds.
Yeah, they drain your bank account.
So. The Secret World developer Funcom is gonna start restructuring. They did a Secret World MMO.
They do a lot of MMOs.
Yeah.
This is pretty much their MO.
Yeah. So like basically, after the games get made, like they have all those workers that aren't really doing anything anymore.
Yeah, they have developers that are no longer developing.
Yeah. So I mean, this is usually par for the course for a MMO developer.
Mm-hmm.
So you got some people going to other different projects that aren't named yet. So I mean, the usual.
Yeah, Secret World's kind of fallen on bad times just because it's kind of an MMO that can't really market well. I've played the trial, and now that it's going free to play, I might try it again because it was a really different take. It was like modern day. There are no levels. It's almost skill based, kind of like Star Wars Galaxies was, except it's all combat skills. And it has to do with a lot of like the the cult stories and stuff like I can't think of the word now, like
Cthulhu?
Stuff like that. But yeah, like the urban legends and stuff like that. Like there's a palace on the dark side of the moon and stuff like that. So it was a cool premise. It was a lot like actually it was a lot like Devil May Cry. Like there's a limbo, and there's different stuff that can go on there, monsters and stuff. So it's cool. I might do a little more on it. More developers kind of got laid off. PlayStation All-Stars developer Superbot lost some employees. Again, kind of par for the course. I don't think I'd be really worried about it because that studio was specifically made to make PlayStation All-Stars.
Yeah, now that it's made, they're kind of just sitting around twiddling their thumbs and collecting a paycheck.
Right. I mean, how many developers do you really need to give us Crash Bandicoot? Apparently more than what they had. So.
Is he a character yet?
Nope. I think there's a licensing thing with him, if I remember right, because even though he was like PlayStation specific most of his life,
yeah.
He did eventually branch out.
Yeah.
Like
kind of like Spyro.
Right. He did eventually do like kart racers and stuff and branch out. So
yeah, I have seen a couple. I did play one of the 360 Crash games.
Right.
Yeah,
So
Crash the Titan or something like that. Crash the Titans.
Crash the Titan.
Yeah, and there's another one like Crash Bandicoot Mind Over Mutant or something like that.
Yeah, I do remember those now.
Yeah.
So I think that's why the big thing. Kingdom Hearts. We don't get to talk about Kingdom Hearts because there's not really much to talk about Kingdom Hearts. But the voice actor for Roxas actually sent a picture out on his Twitter that he's doing voiceover work for Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, so that's interesting. What they're saying that it might be the like Kingdom Hearts 1.5, which is like a collection maybe, but who knows?
That'd be cool. Like that'd be a good I don't want to say jumpstart because Kingdom Hearts still sells exceptionally well, but I think that would like reaffirm its console life because it hasn't really been on a console.
No, it hasn't. But I mean, Disney now Disney's different than it was back then. So I mean, we're talking about we need a Kingdom Hearts 3 with like Star Wars, with Marvel. I think the road for Kingdom Hearts to become like a bigger thing is like it's there.
It could be amazing.
Yeah,
amazinger.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Did you hear the Star Wars 3D the 3D remakes are all canceled?
Really?
Yeah, they canceled all of them to focus on the new 7, 8,
That makes
9.
sense.
And then whatever
that makes sense.
Zack Snyder's doing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So all we got was Phantom Menace, which actually came out about this time last year. We did the PlayStation Store. God of War Ascension when it comes out. The demo cycle continues, and it will include a demo for Last of Us, which is like a survival, like almost like I don't want to say survival horror, but it's like a survival type game.
Yeah, it looks cool. I mean, man, I want to get a PS3 so bad because like these games are starting to come out. Last of Us and
Beyond.
Beyond, I haven't seen a date yet for Beyond, but man, I really want to get those games when they come out and play them. But oh well.
It's got that one.
Speaking of remakes or whatever, Wind Waker HD remake for the Wii U. I found out this news last week that they were going to be remaking the Wind Waker for the Wii U, and I mean I saw the comparison pictures between the GameCube version and the Wii U version, and it looks really good. Wind Waker was one of my favorite Zelda games.
Right.
Like the little cartoon versions of us is the Wind Waker artwork, and You know, I love the artwork and everything. I love the art style. One thing that I do think was really cool about the little news piece was that they're remaking Wind Waker, and they're going to be doing another Zelda game. You know, that's going to take some time before it comes out because they're working on it. What got me was that they said that they want to, you know, do something different with some of the concepts from the other Zelda games. You know, like how linear it is, because you know we have to go to this fire palace before we go to this water palace or something like that. You know, I'm thinking, based on their wording, I'm thinking it may be an open world Zelda game.
Or at least more open than what they used to
Yeah,
be.
like
Maybe they'll go back to like Majora's Mask type of
like a sandbox type of, you know. That's what I'm thinking.
That would be pretty cool. I mean, all the Zelda games, even Skyward Sword was really good. And
Grand Theft Hyrule.
Stealing horses, playing your flute as you drive by, shooting arrows.
Yeah, I'm thinking that that's the route they want to take. That'll be cool. That would be cool.
I'm excited for the Wind Waker remake because I think it was kind of like the sleeper of the Zelda series. I really liked Wind Waker. I don't remember too much of it because I think I remember I sat down and played it all in like a weekend because I was borrowing it. But I do remember like the pirates and Ganon was a pirate and stuff like that. So I don't know if it'd be enough to convince me to buy a Wii U, but we'll see how this other Zelda looks. You know what I really want? I really want a new Metroid game that's like Metroid, not like the other M. Like the first person, like Metroid Prime. Those are really good for first person. And then even like a Super Metroid type game would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that
like
would
a
be
remake.
Cool. A remake, like an arcade type. You know, game to pick up.
I think that's like Nintendo's big, like, I guess their big downfall is they don't do a lot of that stuff. Like PlayStation and Xbox and stuff, they'll release like Blood Rain and stuff like that. You take a 3D open world crappy game and you make it into a 2D side scroller, and all of a sudden it's like a really great game.
Yeah,
they should do more of that kind of stuff, like remake. Maybe not even remake Super Metroid, but make a new Metroid in HD graphics that's side scroller.
Yeah, it would look cool.
Yeah. Surface, Microsoft Surface tablet, is coming out February 9th. I've set up my PayPal account because that's my birthday, so you can donate if you want to buy me one. I don't fully expect it, but they are priced at about $900 for the cheap one, and then about $1,200 for the really good one. This is the full Surface, not the RT that came back a couple months ago. This is pretty much going to have Windows 8. It's going to be like a full laptop. Plus all the Surface stuff, you know, dubstep commercials and all that.
Yeah.
Heart of the Swarm finally released its cinematic trailer. I was going to show it to you, but for some reason it wouldn't download, so go to Blizzard's website and check it out. It is amazing.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I really wanted to play it, but like every time I downloaded it, something would happen or it wouldn't look good, or I don't know. So,
that sucks.
Yes, but go check it out. Of course, it's coming out March 12th. Pre-order it, and you get all kinds of stuff. There's collector's editions. We talked about it.
Oh, and some people have completely given up on EA. You know, Dead Space 3 will have microtransactions, so you can purchase better weapons using your real-life money.
This is the next evolution of the Mass Effect. Because remember, Mass Effect, you could buy the packs. There's only multiplayer, and it didn't really affect it. Whereas in this, you can buy better weapons for single player.
Yeah.
So
that's, I mean, it's something I would never do, but I just the thought that they're actually like just doing this, it's like it doesn't sit right with me.
They're tapping into that free to play market without actually making it free to play. Like the whole freemium thing is unfortunately for us as consumers is bad because companies like EA will get away with it. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean.
That being said, I am buying Dead Space 3 and buying the best weapon so I can show you up on day one.
they did say something in there is that there's like guards in the game that can like keep you from buying the best gun in the game from the start or something like that. But still, like I played the demo and I could tell that they definitely. The game
They're
is designed.
encouraging it.
Yeah, the game is designed in a way to make it seem like, hey, maybe I do need these parts so I can get this better weapon. Because like you find different parts for your guns in the game, and you can like add on to your guns and like build new ones from different scraps and different things you find. And like say you find all these pieces to your gun, but you're missing one little piece. So you either gotta dig through the game, or you can go and buy that little piece. And I mean, me and my friend, we were sitting at the workbench table trying to build our guns from the stuff that we found, and we were like, this is stupid. And now that I found this out, a day or two after, I'm like, I felt hurt. I felt betrayed.
They are tapping into it.
Yeah, man.
One thing you can say about EA is they know how to make money.
They do know how to make money.
Maybe THQ should have taken a few pages from their book.
Yeah, don't see EA going anywhere.
Before we get to THQ, Elder Scrolls Online launched a pretty epic trailer. This one I didn't even attempt to download because it's about 7 minutes long.
Yeah.
But it is very cool. The game will look nothing like it. I actually have low expectations for the game. But you can sign up for beta. I did just, try to check it out. Beta hasn't started. They're just taking sign-ups. And, I'm not real excited for it because everything they've shown, it's basically going to be like a World of Warcraft clone in Elder Scrolls, which to me is not Elder Scrolls. Like, I understand as an MMO there's going to be limitations, like they obviously can't do Elder Scrolls. You can't go steal everybody and lockpick houses and stuff like that, but they could try. They could try.
Good luck with that.
They're not even trying. And the last deal, you want to do the last deal?
Oh, yes. You can with Gears of War Judgment, which will be coming out in March, I believe, you get a free download pass for the first Gears of War. I think they had a stat that 50-something% of people that played
it was crazy.
That played Gears of War 3 never played Gears of War 1.
Yeah.
So
that's insane.
See, the reason they didn't play it though is because Gears of War 3 pretty much was Gears of War 2, which was Gears of War 1.
Right.
So.
But you need to know why Marcus Phoenix is so angry. And Coltrane is so funny.
Yeah, he is funny. He is funny.
I haven't played Gears of War 3 because you weren't that excited about it when you played it, so I was kind of waiting. But I hear that you get to play on like a football field at some point.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. He has like a flashback to when he was like a football player.
Whatever their football was.
Yeah, whatever it was called. So yeah, he has like a little flashback, and like you're like playing him like
running the ball.
Yeah, running the ball and everything, but it's really a bomb. And you gotta like. It was a funny scene. It was a funny scene.
Yeah, I'll probably check it out because I do want to see the end of the story.
I still have it.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, then I might have to borrow
it.
Swap, so you can play any of what I have. I still have Far Cry, Devil May Cry,
Assassin's Creed.
I actually haven't finished that.
Oh wow.
All the side stuff. I got all the story stuff, but there's like a few side missions that are good that I want to do. Yeah, we skipped that one.
Oh yeah, speaking of Assassin's Creed, Assassin's Creed 3 DLC Tyranny of King Washington Episode 1 is due out February 19th. I thought this was already out.
No. They released a couple other DLCs, but they haven't done that one yet.
Okay. So. Yeah, that's like the main one they always like promoted, and I was like, oh. I was like, what, it's not out yet? There's 3 parts to it?
Yep.
So, it's not out
Ubisoft
yet.
knows how to make money too. They just don't gouge you straight
Ubisoft's gonna be making some money off of some of the THQ stuff.
All right, so let's talk about THQ. Let's see, is that number 1? Nope.
That'd be number 3.
Yeah, doing the THQ shuffle. So THQ is gone. That's nice.
That's the THQ shuffle.
Yeah, more like get out your wallet and start writing checks. THQ is gone. It was one of our bold predictions, so you can mark that one off as us being correct.
Yep.
As of, whenever this was written, they are completely dissolved. There was a few people help necessitating the transfer process, but a lot of their assets and IPs and stuff like that were bought by other companies. So breaking down the shuffle, Relic Studios and the company of Heroes IP is going to Sega. I don't know what Sega's going to do with it. They're not known for first-person shooters, really.
Or real-time strategy.
Right. But they made The Cave. So,
yeah, they did.
Well, they produced it.
Yeah.
THQ Montreal and South Park Stick of Truth, 1666 and the IP Underdog are going to Ubisoft. I don't know what the last two are. Those were kind of new projects.
Yeah.
But obviously THQ Montreal and South Park Stick of Truth are the big ones. They're still planning to try to get it out in 2013, but there's a little bit of legal battle with the South Park thing, with the creators of South Park, in the fact that they say Ubisoft isn't licensed to use the South Park license. Only THQ was, which THQ doesn't exist. So there's some legal stuff going on behind there, but still, the game's going to come out eventually, and I'm sure it'll be good. Next up,
let's see, what, Evoke and Metamorphosis,
yeah,
and WWE are going to Take-Two Interactive.
So that was their big one, was always the WWE.
Yeah, that's what I've known THQ for since like forever.
And the other big one, Volition and Saints Row and the Metro license are going to Koch Media, which is really Deep Silver, which is really the people who make Dead Island.
Okay.
So that would probably be their other big one.
Okay. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're still doing what, Saints Row 4, aren't they?
I don't think they ever officially announced it, but I don't see how they'd not do it.
Yeah. Homefront is going to be going to Crytek.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah. What did Crytek do?
They do Crysis.
Crysis? Okay.
Yeah, they do some other stuff, but Crysis is their big one. There are still some stuff up in the air, a lot of the back catalog and stuff like that. And the big one is Vigil Games, which does the Darksiders game, which people are jumping out of there like left and right. If you watch the news over the past week, like the co-founder left, like the head of design left, like they are like jumping ship because I don't think they're gonna go too far.
Nah, like I think when Darksiders 2 came out, it was well received, but it wasn't really.
It was kind of like Kingdoms of Amalur. It was like reviewed really well, and Darksiders 2 sold better than Amalur, but it didn't sell up to expectations.
So yeah, I felt like after that, there probably wasn't going to be a third one.
Yeah.
So, because I was at first I was surprised that there's a decent name that's still not picked up yet. So I'm wondering why nobody jumped at that.
Right, and they actually had a project on the books, but the like all the stuff that's come out since then has said basically that project would have been like a huge leap of faith. Like they don't think it would have sold well, so they didn't want to invest in it. So, but THQ is gone.
It's gone.
All those people got all their stuff.
Well, THQ is dead.
Yeah.
We killed THQ.
We killed, just like G4.
Yeah.
Coming for you, Activision.
We're coming.
Call of Duty 49. We're still doing our duty.
I did one earlier.
That's the official title, right there. All right, so you posted a couple discussion topics this week.
Yeah,
so,
I did. Which one is this one?
Arcades. We'll go arcades. Since
Okay.
That's actually the first on.
Now, I drive past the arcade we went to at the Crab Shack like every day in order to go to work, and I mean they're still around. They're fairly busy, and I mean, and when we went there we had fun.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, I mean, do you miss arcades?
Oh, every day of my life.
I mean, like they were really fun. I was looking up I wanted to play Time Crisis again. Now that I had the PS1, I was looking up Time Crisis, and I saw that the original Time Crisis arcade machine is being sold for like $1,000.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all. And like, I mean, the actual the huge arcade machine with the 2 guns and everything. I'm like, wow. I mean, it'd be cool if we can get that kind of thing at the Crab Shack.
Wait. I got something. Keep talking.
So, as Curtis walks away, I'm going to talk to you guys about arcades, and I'm going to drink my Gatorade.
We talk about game stuff. I knew right where it was.
Oh, GunCon.
Boom.
Isn't that the GunCon 2?
Yes, it is.
Oh, nice. That's really cool.
I love Time Crisis. Obviously,
Time Crisis is awesome.
it doesn't work anymore, but
No, it doesn't.
he's going to repaint it and retrofit it for something else.
Oh, cool. But yeah,
I'm a
I mean,
huge nerd.
Time Crisis was awesome. I just... What happened to them?
I don't know, like what you said, we have an arcade, and it's mostly like the older stuff.
Yeah, it's
older
mostly
stuff.
Yeah.
I do miss them. Like they were always a lot of fun. Huge money sinks. Luckily, I was younger, so it wasn't a lot of my money.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was like a different atmosphere. Like everybody was there to have fun and enjoy themselves. Like I don't ever really remember like fights breaking out or anything like that.
No.
Like you took your wins, you took your losses, and you had fun with it.
Mhm.
You know, whether you're playing gun games, air hockey, you know, whatever type of arcade game you really liked. And yeah, I mean, I understand why they went away. Like the rise of console gaming and the internet
And
stuff
internet,
like,
online.
it just
gaming.
it wasn't worth the money anymore. Like you know, their business went down, stuff like that. There are pockets of them. So,
yeah, there are, but man,
yeah,
I do. I miss them.
Ocean City. I mean, we're in Maryland. Ocean City has a couple of pretty big arcades, and they still turn out like new arcade machines. But in the U.S., it's just not a big draw anymore.
No.
Overseas, they're still pretty popular. So, especially Dance Dance Revolution.
That's right.
So, I wish more would open stateside. Like, of my hopes and dreams, like the top 10 list, one of them is owning an arcade.
Yeah, an arcade / diner.
I don't know if I'd go diner. Like Crab Towns, you know, they've got the crabs to fall back on, plus the arcade machine. I'd want the arcade to support itself.
Ah.
So
Yeah, I'd love to make a lounge.
yeah, the Mana Bar.
The Mana Bar.
Okay.
So, yeah, arcades. We miss them.
Well, what killed the arcades was co-op gaming
Yeah.
at home.
Co-op gaming at home.
You didn't
Killed the
even think
arcades.
about that.
Whoa, nice segue. That was a good segue, Curtis. That was a good segue.
So, does co-op gaming make games better? You posted this, so I want to hear your answer first.
I was wondering about this because of, obviously, Dead Space 3. I mean, it's been so successful as a single-player experience, and then they're, like, shoehorning in this co-op. And after finally playing it, I'm like, was it really worth it? Like, it was scary. Like, parts scared me in the game, in the Dead Space 3 demo. But only because, you know, something's popping out. You know, they've gotten really cheap at the scares, by the way. But
that's sad.
Yeah, they've gotten pretty cheap.
Because Dead Space was always more about the atmosphere.
Yeah,
than the
that's
cheap,
the thing. That's the
Resident
thing.
Evil.
That's the thing, because it's when you're playing online in multiplayer, like that atmosphere is totally
Yeah, it's
sucked
gone.
out. Yeah, it's gone. Like you know, like hey, we're talking about guys at work, you
Right.
know, while we're playing the game.
You're
It's
like, Necro. That thing looks like a penis. Necro.
Behind you,
Yeah.
behind you.
Yeah.
And then something pops. I mean, it just totally killed it. And like, but then we played the cave,
Right.
and the cave was really cool with co-op.
Right.
You know, we were all having fun, sitting there playing with our games and everything.
Nikki, who doesn't even play games, said she
Exactly.
really enjoyed it.
Yeah, so like, it's like checks and balances here.
I think it depends on the type of game. I don't think, like Resident Evil 6 did the same thing. Actually, Resident Evil 5 started.
Yeah.
But survival horror should always be alone.
Yeah.
Like hands down, because otherwise you're gonna have to rely on those cheap, you know, scares. And after like the third or fourth one, you're like, oh,
Yeah,
more
you
birds.
get used to it. You get used to it.
Right.
You know.
And even if you jump and stuff like that, you're kind of like, well, that was cheesy. How did I know that thing was going to come out? It's not going to work anymore. I think, like I said, I think it depends on the type of game. I'd like to see co-op expand into some other games to see if it would work better. Like something like Skyrim. Two Worlds tried it, but Two Worlds sucked as a game.
Yeah, it sucked.
So I'd like to see something with a higher caliber, like Skyrim, do co-op. Grand Theft Auto, those type of games, I think could be really fun as co-op.
Yeah.
Because the multiplayer, like the cops versus robbers and stuff, is always fun. Like I have so many good memories of like, hopping in a car while your best friend's driving and you're like shooting at the cops, and your best friend sucks at driving, so all of a sudden you're towering off a skyscraper into a building.
You already fall off a bridge or something.
Right. So I think co-op can make games better if it's the right type of game.
Yeah. Like
a game like Devil May Cry or Bayonetta, I don't think co-op would be good.
Nah, it'd just be like you'd have a seizure.
Right.
By the time it's over. What's Left 4 Dead? Like really good.
Yeah, first-person shooters typically do well with co-op. Like I think Far Cry 3 might be one of the exceptions, because Far Cry 3 is a lot about the atmosphere and like the character journey and stuff. So maybe you can even boil it down to set games versus character-driven games, and go from there. Because when you're doing Double Dragon, you don't really care who Billy and Bobby Lee are. Yeah, you just want to punch that guy in the face with your friend.
Yeah, and then beat them up, beat them up for the girl at the end.
Right. Which you subsequently lost.
I did.
But yeah, I think it all depends on the narrative. I'd like to see more co-op RPGs, which could be a problem in itself. Like Tales of Destiny, I'll always remember as like a really funny co-op game, because when you're in the overworld doing like RPG stuff, going through towns, crap like that, it was single player. Then when you go into battles, if you had a certain item equipped, players with the other controllers could control your other party members. So that was really cool. And I think now that a lot of RPGs are moving towards the real time, active battle, blah 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 systems, that could be really cool too. So
Legend of Zelda: The Four Swords, that had co-op, and I guess it'd be kind of like the cave and RPG-ish.
That was fun. I remember Four Swords. I think Four Swords suffered from a basic design philosophy of you needed Game Boy Advances, and cables, and stuff like that. Like I think Four Swords now would be really cool. Like going stuff like that. I think MMOs need more co-op. They're going more towards single player now. Like Star Wars.
All the changes.
Yeah.
And they're not changing for the better, so maybe they'll stick to the old school way of doing things.
So what is one game you think shouldn't have co-op, and one game you think could have co-op? I don't want to say should have co-op, but could have co-op.
One game that shouldn't have it, I'd have to go with Resident Evil. They've always wanted to have co-op in it. Wait, let me backtrack, because they had co-op. It was like online co-op in Resident Evil Outbreak, and that co-op actually worked. It was fun.
Well, they made you like super vulnerable in that game. Like you had, I remember playing it briefly, and you had like no weapons, nothing like that.
Yeah.
You literally had to rely on that firefighter with that axe while you were, the policeman with the baton. Because, and I think they did that right.
Yeah, that game right there was probably, that game, that Resident Evil co-op was really good. The 5 and Resident Evil 6, I think it was like an action game. So
I think the big thing is they took that vulnerability away.
You're just overpowered.
Right. Chris with his, Gatling gun.
Yeah, Gatling gun, steroids.
And Sheva with her flamethrower. I mean, who is going to mess with you?
Exactly. So, in a game that I think should have co-op, it would have to be... I mean, it wouldn't really make sense for Tomb Raider, because Tomb Raider is, like, alone.
I think it goes back to, like, character-driven.
Yeah, but I would like to see co-op in Uncharted.
That would be cool.
I would like to see it in Uncharted, because, like, half the time you were playing the game, you always had some, like a buddy with you in the game. I'm like, why isn't somebody else playing? why is why is this character an NPC? So yeah, it would have been cool if it was another player.
I agree with that.
So Uncharted 4 for the PS4.
Uncharted 4, Recharted is your best friend.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So our last topic is, did we make one for the cave? I don't know if we have one for the cave.
No.
Okay, that's fine. We'll go back to 36.
Or reviews.
Our reviews. Yeah, I was just gonna do that. So we played the cave.
Mm-hmm.
We marketed the crap out of it. We got a lot of viewers from it.
Oh, we did? Cool.
We actually did pretty well with it. The YouTube video is not doing great, but the actual live viewership, the first night was pretty good. The second night I didn't really pay attention, and I edited it, so now I can't go back and look.
Oh.
But it did pretty well. As a whole, it wasn't generating a lot of views for anybody, so overall we did pretty good.
Because everybody was too busy playing it.
Yeah. Stuck on the hillbilly level.
Yeah.
So
Hillbilly was tough. And the
Time
Traveler.
I picked the hard ones.
Yeah, you did.
And we'll get to the monk level, and it'll be like you move like 2 things. Just like the night level. The night level, you didn't even have to do anything. You just ran back and forth, and then we had to blow up like some rocks.
Yep. I just ran back and forth. I jumped down a little hole, like used my little angel thing.
Right.
That was funny.
That was funny.
It was funny. My only gripe with the cave is that there is no. How do I say this? There's a lot of trial and error in it. You know, like
it is a thinking man's game.
It is a thinking man's game. You've got to,
or woman's,
you're really just thrown out there. You're just thrown out to the wolves, and you just have to figure it out for yourself. Like we didn't know what our abilities do until we just like tested out.
Right.
Like when you were swimming down that thing, it was like, hey, wait, do you think that you could swim if you put your little bubble thing on your head?
Right.
Like we had no idea that would do that.
See, I actually really like that aspect, that there was no like this does this and this does that. Like it almost made the game, I want to say, more realistic. Like, you know, you weren't given a distinct answer to a distinct problem. You were given a problem that has an answer, and you have to figure it out. Whether or not your specific ability plays into that was interesting.
Yeah, it's very unique.
Yeah.
It's very unique. Like, I never would have known that my guy could not take damage when he did that thing. Like,
right, we were just like, wait, what about your angel thing?
And then I just jumped down a hole, threw some fire, and like, oh, wait, cool. So,
right. So, the cave.
Yeah. I like how they did the local co-op only.
Yeah. That, I think, you know, after we talked about it, and then when we finally got to play it, I do agree with that. Like, you really need to communicate.
Yeah.
There was no way you could get away with this on Xbox Live if people aren't communicating.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there is just so much. And, I mean, even sitting here communicating, we had problems, like, you know, character switching and stuff like that.
Yep.
So, I really enjoyed, like, all the stories and stuff. You know, our 3 initial characters were the knight, the time traveler, and the adventurer.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought all the stories were interesting in the fact that it did play to your strengths. The time traveler story was a little overly complicated. It was it was a cool mechanic, like you said.
Yeah, I think it was by far what I've seen in the game the best mechanic. It's just that the execution for it was left a little bit more to be desired.
But other than that, it was pretty good.
Oh yeah, I liked it. I mean, that was like really cool.
You know, because we had to sit there and actually think about it, and we were like, oh god, what the hell do we do? Like, you know, and then you had to put people in different time periods. I really liked how the adventurer, like her story, really felt like that Indiana Jones story. Like you had to hit puzzles on a timer and move stuff and then get out of the way of stuff.
The teamwork aspect in that one was really good.
Right. So, and I can see how that one was, like, I think the Time Traveler playing single player or co-op could have went either way. Because it was a lot of, you know, you stand here and wait for this, and you stand here and wait for this.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with the Adventurer, you needed to do a lot of that stuff. Not really in unison, but very, you know, very strict time constringent. So that was definitely a lot easier. Your story was just kind of like there.
Yeah.
Like, it was really like the
Like a beginner.
introductory.
Yeah, it was like a beginner.
So, because it literally was like, go talk to this guy, run back, climb this, sneak around. The only instance in your story that was kind of difficult was how you had to have one guy on one side of the dragon and one guy on the other side of the dragon, and you had to both kind of run in there at the same time.
That's right.
But other than that, that was it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, so I mean, I really like the game. I like how it kind of like how the game kind of snuck up on us. So it's kind of like a sleeper hit in a way. I like the game has a lot of replay value with 7 characters. You can only play this 3 at a time.
right.
So you got to play it a minimum of what 3 times.
Yep.
Just to get all the stories.
And I found this out after the fact. I did some digging. There is 2 endings per character.
Wow.
Because apparently, when you get what you desire most at the end, you can give it back and get the good ending. Because if you remember at the end, in this is kind of spoilers, but at the end the cave is like, well, they didn't really learn their lesson. Yeah. So there are multiple endings.
That's pretty cool.
The downside of the replayability is each of your characters has its own story, but there are some filler stories in between, like the miner, the island. Those don't change.
Okay.
So, like, when we go through it again, after we finish the hillbilly story, which is what we're on now, after that, we'll probably run into the miner.
The miner again.
And then we'll do the next story, and then we'll run into...
the hunter?
I think that was at the end.
Oh, that's right.
So, that's what we're watching now. So
it was the miner, and then it was...
I think then we went to the adventurer, and then from the adventurer we went straight into the time traveler. Because I think it really depends on who you pick, because if you remember right, when we went from the adventurer to the time traveler, there was the twins' house in between.
That's right, yeah.
So,
you couldn't do anything with that.
Yep. And then at the end was the island.
So I wonder if there's like a huge map of like everything that we could find.
I'm sure in different areas obviously are open to different characters. Like obviously the hillbillies area is what's first for us, but that area wasn't open because we didn't have the hillbillies.
Yeah, we couldn't swim all the way through. We always drowned, so we just didn't go.
Right, and then we went through the knights area. So I really enjoyed it. Like, as a downloadable game for $15, you know, I would say do a co-op because it was a lot of fun co-op.
Yeah,
you know, sitting there figuring out, you know, all the.
I kind of feel sorry for somebody who plays it without co-op.
Right.
You would be missing out.
Yeah, I could probably go through it now alone and be, you know, perfectly content. But I am glad that I had that co-op experience first.
Yeah.
Because that you know, that really made it. Like, you owned that character.
Yeah.
So, it wasn't like, oh, I'm the knight and the time traveler and, you know, the adventurer. I am the time traveler.
Yeah, when you jump into when you accidentally fall into the spikes, it's, like, funny.
Repeatedly.
Repeatedly. But, you know, if you do it alone,
it's like, not as funny.
Yeah, you're like, darn.
You're like, oh, man, I can't make this. You imagine making that jump with 3 characters?
That would be crazy.
Yeah. So, overall, I'd probably give it like a 9 out of 10.
Same here. 9 out of 10.
There was a few frame rate problems I noticed here and there. The other big thing is I heard jumping was like kind of floaty, but I think that was by design. And I did notice a couple frame rate problems here and there, but nothing that
frame rates, and sometimes you might get a little stuck on something.
Right, but nothing that I ever, you know, would detract from my enjoyment of the game. It wasn't consistent enough, stuff like that. So, yeah, the cave.
The cave was awesome. I like the voice of the cave too.
He was funny. Well, since your characters don't talk, that's, you know, he has to be funny. So, and I do like how it comes full circle at the end. Like it did, like at the very end when you go through the area that you have to go through at the very beginning, and it's all the same, but it's all different. Like all the traps are taken down, and they're, like, packed away.
Yeah, like it's like a tour.
Right.
You know, like they're closing up shop for the day.
Right. So I didn't like that. I didn't like the very long ladder at the end.
Yeah, that was annoying.
Did like an elevator or something. But so 9 out of 10 for the cave. Next week, I'll be reviewing Devil May Cry.
What will I review next week? Maybe I'll preview something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I'm still working on the Skyrim show. You know, I said by the end of February. I'm still looking to hit that. But Devil May Cry will definitely be out a lot earlier than that. I'll try to start getting those episodes up by the end of the week, just depending on how well voiceover goes and stuff like that.
Cool.
You got some Let's Plays still going on?
Yeah, XCOM finished last week. I'm kind of sad about that. I had some people that like really enjoyed those videos. Tomb Raider will be finishing up probably this week, and then I got to start rolling out the Spider-Man, and then I need to find a new game to Let's Play. I might do either Sniper Elite V2. I know I want to play that Wolverine game. I want to play that again. That was really cool.
If you get that, you gotta let me borrow that, because I was going through my achievements the other day, and I am one achievement from perfect.
Oh man! So like what? You have like what 900?
I think I have like 940, because the last achievement was 60 points.
Okay.
And it's to beat the game on hard.
Oh.
So it's like an easy achievement. I think the only reason I got it is because at that point I was so done getting all the other stuff that I was like, oh, I need a break from this game. And then my Xbox broke.
Oh no!
So
yeah, I really like that game.
I did really enjoy that game too.
Maybe we should have a licensed game discussion next week.
Yeah.
I may have some other announcements for next week. We'll see.
Yep. But otherwise, stay tuned to YouTube. You know, check the webpage. We got stuff going up.
Like, comment, subscribe.
We picked up some subscribers. Thank you guys for that. You know, always like our videos. If you dislike our videos, tell us why. It only helps us improve.
Yeah.
If you're just trolling, you know, dislike us and don't say anything. We don't really care. But if you like us, you know, stay wide too, because you know we like to have our ego stroked like everybody else.
Come on. This is what we're doing this for you.
Are we? I started out doing this for me.
Oh.
But yeah, I guess we're doing it for them now. I like talking about video games. I don't know about you.
Me too.
I mean, that's how this whole show started. Is you and I were talking about video games, and Nikki was like, "You guys should do a show." And they were like, "Oh yeah, that'd be cool." And then like 2 months later, we're like, "All right, let's do a show."
And we did it. And here we are, like half a year later.
Episode 36. We're actually coming up on a year in about 2 months.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
So.
Yes. What is it, Cass?
Kratos, is it time to go? I think so.
Yes, it is.
Well, I said I would do this, and I have to do it. I'm going to make like a tree and get the rabbit out of here. Did I nail it? I didn't turn the sound up.
Oh.
There we go.